When the needs of different generations clash, that can lead to antisocial behaviour. Youngsters get frustrated by authority and age, and the oldies just want a bit of peace and quiet. But that can perpetuate when you live in a small town. So isn't it nice to find a place that has found a solution to a problem that keeps both sides happy? Dorchester in Dorset, usually a peaceful town. Until a clash of cultures brought a raft of complaints into the council from citizens, both young and old. And causing the conflict? Skateboarders, ripping up the town on tiny wheels. Councillor Robin Potter had to deal with all the protests.
There were the two sides. There were the young people who said, there's nothing for us to do, there's nowhere for us to go and use our skateboards. And there were the older people who said, the children are using their skateboards in places where we want to be quiet, where we want to walk.
Well, when I used to ride around this town with my mates and that, you'd always get people shouting and going at you just because you can't ride there. Or...
And you can't move quick enough to get out there like fire.
It's understandable, to be honest, just getting in the way, haven't we?
We haven't got a grip on these, have we? No, we haven't, that's true.
The skateboarders were causing constant aggravation, and nowhere was off limit for trying out their tricks.
What you've got here, you've got the Crown Court building, the County Hall. You've got some walls at the front and some railings where the young people used to skate down. They would also use the rails that were coming down the steps and jump off those down there.
The boards also made a constant racket, making life difficult for those attempting more gentle pursuits, like chorister George Wickham.
The rooms are lent to a variety of hobbies and things, and ours was singing, songs from the show type singing. So we had quite a big choir for that, 30-odd people. Very enthusiastic, but occasionally getting frustrated with what was going on outside. Well, if you've heard the skateboard on metal, it's very noisy. Trying to sing a tricky bit, and suddenly you get a distraction. The kids were just noisy because they were frustrated at not being able to do what they wanted to do.
But George was not without understanding for the kids' need to let off steam.
As an ex-teacher, I had a fantastic amount of sympathy for them, because it's so easy for people of my age to moan about noise and inconvenience.
But rather than allow the problem to fester, councillors and residents decided that they needed to act by finding a proper space for the skateboarders to hang out.
The town council has always provided very good play areas for younger children, and this was an opportunity for us to address the concerns of slightly older children, teenagers.
And they needed to come up with the ideal location.
It needed to be in the centre of town. It needed to be as far as we could manage from residential properties. And it needed to be somewhere that was safe. And the place we found was very close to the police station, which is of great help.
I think there was a lot of support in the town for it, particularly as the kids and the young men were fundraising and things like that. So it wasn't a case of it being handed on a plate to them, they had to work for it.
Youth fundraisers joined the local council and partnership groups in raising money and securing grants. They created a state-of-the-art skate park for bikers and boarders of every description.
Packed pretty much every day, people enjoy it.
Obviously you got the younger ones and the scooters, skateboards and that, and you got us BMXers. You get the older lots as well, like in their 30s and that, but they still stick to it. It's quite surprising really, but obviously you got the police station right next to us, so it's always looking out for us, but yeah, it's good.
I gave up in the late 90s because the whole general perception of skateboarding was we were all too old, and then got the funding for this place. This place was built and I started skating again, and it's been amazing really. I haven't looked back since.
The skaters are only too happy not to be causing trouble.
I'm
other towns that I've been to, personally, that haven't got facilities like this, I've seen a lot more, like, crime, antisocial behaviour, like, groups hanging around, kids hanging around in rough areas. You don't get that here because of the skate park.
You're right.
And that's echoed by the authorities.
This park has not been subject to any antisocial behaviour. Very, very little incidents and reports of crime. You will find that the community and the young people actually policing it themselves to look after it themselves. Since it opened, we've had a 45% reduction in antisocial behaviour in the area that was immediately affected by the skate park. That's a huge difference and a huge benefit to the town.
It's been a winner for young and old alike.
Until they built the skate park, now it's usually full up every day with children playing bikes and scooters. They really enjoy it.
It never ceases to amaze me how wonderful the young people are on this skate park. When we first started, some people were a bit worried that gathering all the skateboarders together in one place would generate more noise, even some aggro, but that just hasn't happened at all. We're very pleased that the skate park has shown that young people can be active without being antisocial.
I used to be a skater, yeah, and now too old for it now, so yeah, now next generation.